Good morning. I appreciate you taking a Saturday morning to come down and maybe learn a little more about City Hall. The original project started out looking at 3 areas in Torrington. We looked at this building for major renovations, the city barn on Winthrop Street, and the street department on Arthur Street. And they were put together based on recommendations of a facilities committee that the City of Torrington put together. The facilities committee visited all municipal properties looking at the needs of the public, the needs of the employee, the needs of each department for storage space, employee space, utilization of departments, efficiencies. And out of that, they came up with the project that they went forward with as a building committee. Just to bring you up to date quickly, through the various years of working on that, costs have skyrocketed. And when the building committee sort of regrouped just about a year ago, when they looked at the costs again, for all 3 projects, the costs were 20s of millions of dollars. So they looked at only City Hall. And we put together a project for the really total reconstruction, rebuilding of City Hall with some minor work at the Winthrop Street garage to build a garage there. Because the intent was to move the uses out of the garages in City Hall out of City Hall. And if you recall, when the building official and fire marshal made their presentations to you, we still had that concern over that use in the building. So it's something that we still have to look at, or you should still at least consider what's going to happen with the existing garage use in the building. Through the various iterations of trying to use this building, the building committee came up with a bunch of different schemes. They did studies with the assistance of the architects looking at the needs of the public. We had every department keeping track of how many public visits they had over a time period. We looked at how the different departments interact with each other. And we tried to lay out with the constrictions of the geometry of the building to try to bring those kind of departments together, try to bring the heavily used departments that needed a lot of public access down to the lower levels to make it as easy and efficient as possible, not only for the employees here, but for the public that needs to come in and use the City Hall services. What's interesting, during those renovation investigations and the really programming investigations, the committee also looked at the possibility of bringing the Board of Ed into this building. The way the project ended up and the way it'll be presented as the building committee project, that wasn't part of it, but I think it's something this committee should again be aware of. It's something you probably should have some discussions on yourself. The city still maintains a Board of Education building on Midgeon Avenue. So with that, I'd like to invite Joe or Pat.
The committee had selected option 2B, which are printed larger on these boards, and I'll just take a second to take you through these. As I mentioned, the challenge here was how to take this building and try to make it as efficient as possible. All of the schemes had included code upgrades, replacement of windows, all those necessary health, safety, welfare issues. But this scheme also tried to take into consideration how do you take this building and make it more efficient and make it more user-friendly. The challenge is you have this U-shaped corridor, so there's a lot of circulation space within this building. And because of that, we didn't want to add more circulation to the building, or if we added more circulation, how to use it in the most effective way. So what we had decided to do was to create this central square, this central space, this atrium space that went up through the 3 stories and allowed natural light in. And what that allowed us to do was to now stack offices around the inside space that you would get borrowed light. You wouldn't have direct windows to the outside. You get light from above that would enter those offices. It also attached or connected the front to the building to the back of the building. As I said, many people do park back here, and even this morning I had to sneak through this stair to get in here, and this would act as a connector from the front of the back of the building. The third thing that it did was it created a sense of arrival point when you come up these grand stairs in the front. Right now, when you come up the stairs, you come to a blank wall. And by doing that, it really gives you a sense of that you're arriving at a municipal building, an important municipal building. There could be a kiosk there, an information kiosk, and some wayfinding to help you navigate through the building. So with this organization, we moved the auditorium to the ground floor, or to the first floor, and all the offices that had heavy traffic use, city clerk, probate office, assessor's office, tax collection office, all on the ground floor. And because of the grading of the site, the back entry would be on grade. So no one had to climb stairs to get to these offices if they were able to park back here. Someone could park back here, come in, and easily access the probate or city clerk or auditorium without ever having to climb stairs or use an elevator. On the second floor, we have proposed the mayor's office and the building department, and you can see this opening in the building allows light to come in from above, as you can see in this section, and provide natural light into these spaces through a borrowed means or borrowed mechanism. And finally, on the third floor, because we would add a third floor to the scheme and make them all the floors level, we gained a lot of extra space, which we call future growth. So to be room within the footprint of the building for future growth. One cannot predict how the buildings will be used 25 years from now, or 50 years from now, and that allowed for some flexibility within the space.